Hey guys, just a short video here. I just want to show you a disastrous KWA ERG. I know a lot of people will tell you that these ERGs are built very well to put up with the recoil. In reality, they're not. They aren't. The system is really cool how, you get recoil. I mean, this huge buffer thing goes inside of the buffer tube, and it, creates some pretty good recoil, and it feels good. It feels nice. But there are some parts on the inside in here that they really scrimp on, that they don't upgrade that they should. Like this. They're using their stock motor in an ERG. An electric recoil gun is going to be using more power. It's going to need more torque to spin the gears and pull the piston back and pull the recoil system back. And this motor is just not torquey. It's just not. It says high torque. It's furious magnets. Now the magnets are somewhat thick. They're not too bad. I would say this is probably the third best, probably the second best furious stock motor. Now, I know some guns will come with Golden Eagle high torques that are neo-magnet. I'm talking furious magnets. This is probably the second best. The first best, I would go with the Echo 1 furious magnet motor. I have one of those in a friend's gun, and it just performs very, very well, and I don't understand why. It works better than this. And these, this is the motor, the exact same motor that's in their SR10s. They're standard guns, and they expect this to pull the gun cycle a recoil gun. It just doesn't work. The customer is using a 11.120C 1200, so this is a powerful battery. This is an 11.1 volt battery. This should be able to pull pretty much any gun, in my opinion. Well, it depends on the motor that you have, obviously. If you don't have a torquey motor, a high voltage battery is not going to do it for you. So again, this motor is not good enough to pull the system. Now, it's using standard gears. The gears seem to be fine. Well, there's a piece of plastic from the piston jammed up in the gears there. Let me go and pull that out. Just inspect to make sure there's no more plastic in here. Also, they have standard bearings in here. They are using bearings on a recoil gun. That's just not good. There's a lot of stress with this recoil gun. Now, it is 9mm, but I've had KWA's old 8mm bearings explode. I had one of those explode. Just it absolutely exploded on a standard gun. The bearing exploded. Now, it was 8mm, but a millimeter, is that really going to make a difference? A little bit, but not all that much. Also, they're using their plastic cylinder head. There's a lot of force coming forward on this, and there's no extra sorbo pad. This should be aluminum. The cylinder head should be aluminum, especially with how much they're charging for these guns. $380 is a lot of money. So they should have a metal cylinder head with a thicker sorbo pad, but even without one, it would be better. You don't have to have a thick sorbo pad, and not a lot of companies do that. But still, aluminum cylinder head would last a lot longer. The nozzle's fine, the cylinder's fine, the gears are fine. The trigger contacts seem to be pretty good, actually. The gearbox shell is really strong. And then there's the piston. Well, actually, the tappet plate here is proprietary, and look at that, it completely melted. Tappet plate, and then the piston. They are using their standard KWA piston on an electric recoil gun. I don't get this. As you can see, the metal tooth actually broke out, and then it stripped two of the plastic teeth. So no wonder this thing wouldn't cycle, because it wasn't even there was so much wrong with it, that it wouldn't cycle. And I'm just throwing this thing in the trash, because these piston heads aren't really that good either, because there's no ports on it. Let's check compression. Compression's actually not that bad. But I've seen a lot of these type of guns, these KWAs with the non-ported piston heads, with awful compression. So I do not like this, so I'm throwing this away. Now, I am getting an ERG gearbox. Basically, it's boneyard. So basically, I'm putting a stock KWA ERG piston in here and piston head. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to put another one of those tappet plates, because it's proprietary, I can't use anything else. With the piston, you could use a metal rack piston, and they should have. They should have put a metal rack piston in there. I don't have any spares. I don't know how long this next one's gonna last, but I don't have any spare metal rack pistons. So he's just gonna have to deal with the standard one. Now the standard one, the pickup tooth is nice and thick. KWA has good pistons with the pickup tooth being really thick, but this is catastrophic failure on the front. I've never seen that happen. So that is obviously, there's a lot of force in this system. So hopefully the new piston, the tappet plate will obviously allow it to feed and cycle. I cleaned up the trigger contacts. Replacing the connector, because the Tamiya connector that was on here was kind of like pulling out, so I'm replacing that wire part with these QD connectors, and then putting a stock piston in here. Hopefully it holds up for him for at least a year. If it breaks on him within a year, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I really hope I don't have to work on this thing again. So I'm not sure what spring ratio this is, what FPS. I think they're supposed to shoot like 360, but with this huge system, I mean, there's no way, this huge thing, it's probably shooting between 400 and 360 is my guess. Obviously would shoot much better if it had good compression and a good piston head. So if you have any questions, comment below. I will probably have a review on this probably next week. I'm actually going out of town for work, and I'm actually helping setting up an airsoft field Sunday, I may get it done Saturday, because I'm picking up these parts tomorrow, so I think I may play airsoft tomorrow night. I don't know, I may be playing like around my house on Friday night or Saturday, so I'll try to get this done and get a video on it, because it's a really cool gun. The ERGs are really cool, so I'll get it repaired, got to put the piston, new tappet plate in, that new wire set, and I have a new low receiver, and I got to put it all together and then test it. So we'll see. Hopefully I get it done. I'll try to make a video on Saturday. I'll try to get it done before Saturday, so I can get a review shooting test out on it on the same video, and then I can give it back to the customer the next weekend, because that coming weekend I will be out of town working, so then the following weekend, or I could give it to James. If he goes out to the field, he could take it. So we'll figure that out later. But first thing I got to do is get the thing up and running. As far as the other parts, I mean, like I said, everything else seems fine. The cylinder head should be aluminum. The piston should be full metal rack. The piston head should have ports. I think all the KWA pistons should have that. Should have a sorbo pad, but even an aluminum cylinder head would do. Okay, I'm ranting. That's pretty much it. I don't like the wire system on the KWAs either. The way these work, where these like screw down into the little connector screw down into the gun, that's just stupid. But got to deal with it. A lot of this stuff is proprietary. Got to stick with it. Sticking with the stock. Whatever. Just going to get this up and running for the customer, and I'll make a review and shooting test on it. So thank you guys for watching. See you later.